what I find is in a work environment or you go into a meeting, oftentimes when you dig underneath the reason for disagreement, it's because people who are disagreeing don't have the same context you do. And that context may be their
Mm,
background, maybe my background, maybe the history, maybe the meeting I was in just before, etc. And it's a little bit like over the last number of years, we've learned to not treat people the way we want to be treated, treat them the way they want to be treated. And so when you're in a meeting and it's a particularly dicey sort of situation, try to imagine where the other people are sitting, what history they have, what information they have, and how they
mm,
processed it, so that you sort of provide an upfront context setting so that the best you can everyone is on a comparable playing field before you get into the meat of the conversation, et cetera. And that way you're not spending, in my mind, wasted time backtracking because people don't have the same context. And I think context and framing it in a way that other people understand based on where they are is um, another dimension to what some people say is radical transparency, et cetera. And you know, you can be transparent, but people may still not have the appropriate context.
mm. So what would you suggest maybe a practical tip for a leader of a team or maybe for people coming into a meeting with their colleagues, how to skillfully kind of gain this context to be able to connect more effectively?
Well, it all depends on who are the people in the meeting. If the people are junior and you're about to talk to something that you've seen before in the past, maybe you start with a story in terms of what you experienced in the past that may be a comparable situation to what you're about to talk about.
Mm,
Or maybe you're talking with the HR team and they may not have as much intuition on a budget or a value driver, and you need to spend a little bit of time backtracking and making sure the dots are connected. We do town halls all the time,
mm,
and I present the numbers. And I can't presume that everyone in our town hall knows what revenue means, knows what EBITDA means, knows what
right,
free cash flow means. And so each and every time I'm up, and I do it once, twice a year, I take a little bit of time in the town hall and re-explain what is revenue, what is EBITDA. Because I know there are people that are either new to Cox or their day job doesn't require them to know it, and so they've forgotten, and that's okay. You know,
right.
I'm on the board at Truist, and I also we have a board here, and I have to remind teammates here that the board members of Cox, they don't do Cox every day like we do. And so
Mm,
acronyms, we can't just throw a bunch of acronyms on a slide. We got to make sure that we're spelling them out and that we're bridging what they heard last board meeting to what they're going to hear in this board meeting, even though they haven't been in the 34 meetings between. And so we have to bridge. That's their context, right?
mm, right. Now that really clarifies, I think, what you're getting at here is just making sure, like, I'm just imagining somebody, let's imagine I'm a Cox employee and, I'm in the automotive, I'm a manager of a team in Cox Automotive, and, you start rattling off all this financial stuff. I don't know what EBITDA is, and now I'm missing the whole conversation, right? Whereas if you just take a few minutes up front, set the context, help me understand what do these terms mean, now I actually get something out of the meeting,
Right.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Well,
I just think starting something and it's all different depending on the audience in the meeting, but I just think it's really important and it's different than, radical transparency or whatever is, other folks have said. I think it's really important to meet the people in your meeting where they are.